Hello and good morning from Chiang Mai. I thought this week I would do a bit of a weekly vlog mixed with a how much I read in a week backpacking edition. Showing you guys what we're up to a week while backpacking with my best friend Zara. We've just got ready for the day. It is Monday. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. We've got breakfast downstairs. We have some cereals and I'm gonna have a tea, which I'm really excited about because I didn't realise you could get oat milk in the shop, like small cartons of oat milk, and they have tea here. So I'm gonna have my first tea in about 3 weeks. I'm so excited, so excited. Our plan for today is exploring the old town, do some temple hopping because the temples here are absolutely amazing. They're gorgeous and they have so many. And also Chiang Mai has quite a cafe culture. We want to check out some of their cafes. Okay, so we've had breakfast. We're about to head out into the city. It was really nice having a cup of tea. I miss my teas. It wasn't quite Terry tea, which I normally have, but that's okay. It did the job. We're coming up to our first temple. It's called the Silver Temple. It was about a 9-minute walk from our house, so it's really not that far. That was kind of a fail because you had to pay to enter, but only men are allowed in the temple. So we didn't see much point in paying when we could only look from the outside. So we're heading to our next temple now. Almost at our second temple. Hopefully we can actually get into this one. Fingers crossed. Also a fail because we realised we went there last night and you had to pay to get in, but so we didn't pay, but we've already kind of seen it. So we're heading to our first cafe instead and we're gonna have a little rest because it's quite hot and we're getting quite tired. I've gone for a peach soda and Zara's gone for a banana bread. That's refreshing, you'll like that. We had our first cafe break and now we're heading to 2 more temples up the north of the old town, and then we're gonna start to wind our way down to the east of the old town because the old town's like a square. Do a couple more temples. We have about 4 more on our plan to do today, I think, and in between those we're gonna check out a few more cafes. And then we're gonna head to a vintage market or a vintage road. It's going to be really good for shopping. And then we're gonna get an early supper and get some good food. So we're at this temple here, but the next one we're going to is literally right across the road. This one is so cool, but we're gonna, I think, head to the next one now. Slightly newer looking one and then an ancient looking one in the back. had another cafe break. We got some food and chilled. And now we're at our last temple, which is here. And then we're gonna go to a vintage market and then get some food and then probably head back because it's quite tiring walking around all day in this heat. We've decided to stinge out on this one and we're just looking from the outside because you have to pay to get in. So we're just appreciating it from the road in the shade instead. It's been a few hours since I last updated this vlog, but we went to this street, or like this area that had lots of vintage shops. So we did some browsing and then we headed for food and it was really good. It was a recommendation on TikTok. Really good food. And now we're walking home. It was about a 35-minute walk from the restaurant to the hostel, but we decided to walk it because we needed to stop by 7-Eleven anyway for breakfast tomorrow, and I wanted to walk off my massive load. So yeah, we're about 10 minutes from the hostel now, and that is round about the end of the first day of our vlog. I will probably just go back and I imagine read my book. Good morning everybody. It is Tuesday. Today we're going to the Sticky Waterfalls and the Land of the Angels. We're on a little day trip. We've just stopped off at 7-Eleven to get some food for lunchtime. We're heading to the Sticky Waterfalls first. Hopefully it won't be too busy. And they're called the Sticky Waterfalls because you can walk up them and they're sticky. It's one of the big attractions of Chiang Mai, so we're excited. I wasn't able to film much in Sticky Waterfalls because we didn't have our phones, but we're now at the Land of Angels and it's gorgeous. And we're getting a slice of chocolate cake. We're just waiting for it now. Yeah. Really bad with filming today. We are home, back at our hostel. We have just kind of chilled for a bit and we're now going out for food. We're going to, we saw this Japanese kind of stall on the side of the road on our way to a market on our first night here. So we're going to go there and then we're going to go back to the market to get really good roti we had on the first day. I finished my book, Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. I can't believe I finished the series. I will give my full thoughts at some point. That was crazy. I can't believe I finished it, although I did look it up and apparently there's still 2 books to come. So I've been contemplating my next book and I think I'm going to read One Dark Window because I'm craving a fantasy. I've read 4 books this year so far and none of them have been fantasy, and I'm a fantasy girl, so I'm craving some fantasy. I think I'm going to read One Dark Window, I don't know who the author is, or A Silver Flame. Good morning, happy Wednesday. We are starting the morning off with a bit of kerfuffle because we have to change hostels because I accidentally got the dates wrong with our hostel, so we're 1 night short. So we're having to change hostels this morning. We're checked out, we're just waiting for our bulk. And then from there, we're going to go to the artist village, the artist area, the artist village, and then explore that, come back, and then we want to go to the Monk's Trail to watch the sunset this evening. So that's our plan for the day, our last day in Chiang Mai. We had a bit of a mare trying to find our hostel because our driver, he took us like the road behind the hostel, and then we had to try get to the road of the hostel, and then Google Maps just wasn't showing where the hostel was accurately, and we were so confused. And then we thought it was actually a 20-minute walk away, because there is another hostel with the exact same name and photos somehow. And so we almost walked 20 minutes, but luckily we asked a really nice lady in the hostel by us, and it was literally like a 30-second walk down the road. So now we've ordered our boat to take us to the artist village, so our day is officially beginning now. And do the monks hike, the monks trail. We got back from the artist village about an hour ago, and we just were booking our flights to the Philippines in about a month's time to get that sorted. So now we're gonna go hike, and then we're gonna get supper at the same place we had supper a couple of days ago, because it was really good and it's really close to our hostel now. Top now. It's got some pretty insane views over the city, way over there. However, I don't actually think we can get into the temple because I think it's closed. So I think the monks are actually in the temple now, because there are lights on inside but the doors are closed. It was a really nice hike up here. It wasn't crazy hard, and it's gorgeous at the top. We have a friend leading the way. Cute little dog. That's so sweet. Good morning everyone, it is Thursday, which means it is transfer day. I'm trying my 2 soccer tie. Our transfer isn't till 12:50, so we're going out for breakfast this morning. We saw a nice cafe like 2 seconds down the road, and then we need to get our snacks from 7-Eleven, and then we head to the bus station for a nice 6-hour journey to soccer time. To a very nice room, look at this, and women en suite. This is luxury in the backpacking world. This is nice. It's wiggling. Yeah, I know, it's like a jellyfish. We're getting our sweet treat post supper, and we've gone for a Datfuku chocolate Dubai something or other. Good morning from Sokhotai Historical Park. We are spending the day exploring. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and we rented bikes from our hostel, and we just got tickets to Central, which we're going to explore this morning. And so yeah, you cycle around and you look at the different temples. So this is the first one we're looking at. So we're going to go explore. We're back at the hostel. I haven't vlogged for a couple hours. We went around the central zone of the historical park because it's split into different zones, and some you have to pay for. So we paid to get into central, the zone, and then we cycled around for a bit and looked at all the different temples or their like ruins. Our plan was always to go in the morning when it was cool, come out at midday, and then go back in when it was cooler in the evening. So we left at midday to go have lunch because between 12 to 4 it's 35 degrees, which is just a little bit too hot to be enjoyably out in the sun, especially when you're cycling around and there's not much shade. So then we can go out tonight. We're gonna go to the north zone, and then we want to go back to the central zone because there's a spot where you can watch the sunset over the temple. But while we had a spare minute, I thought we'd sit down and we'd have a bit of a catch up about the books I've been reading recently, because I finished Magnolia Park's Into the Dark a couple of days ago and I've started The Silver Flame. So I thought we'd just have a bit of a catch up and a chit chat about the books. I have a chocolate cupcake to be eating and I'm drinking some watermelon green tea. First, I thought I'd have a bit of a discussion about my thoughts on Magnolia Parks. This is of course spoiler free. I'm just gonna have like a brain dump. This is the 5th book, so a lot of what I'm gonna say is gonna be a bit cryptic because you can't really say much into a series without spoiling it. But I rated Magnolia Park Into the Dark a 4.5 stars, so it wasn't the highest ratings for me in the series, because I found, due to the nature of the plot or like the storyline in the 5th book, I found it to be a little bit heavy and a bit serious, because there are a lot of themes of like grief, mental health. I don't want to spoil too much, but you know, which are all very important topics, and I'm not saying they're bad because the book is bad because they're talked about. Not at all. I think it's really important. I think the grief specifically was dealt with so well and it was so beautifully written, especially towards the end of the book. On the Mountain is what I'll say for those who have read it. It's just a lot of kind of like the light-heartedness and the drama of the previous books were not present in the 5th book because, you know, of all these serious topics, so it just kind of felt a bit more serious compared to the other book. I really liked the ending. The ending was very satisfying, obviously after 3 books of Magnolia Park's MBJ. This was about the only book where I kind of, obviously the characters that you're following are very rich socialites and they speak a lot about their wealth, and a lot of people have said that they found the characters, specifically Magnolia, to be very spoiled. And this was the only book where I found that to be like a problem. Like, not like a problem, it's just there were a lot more comments in this book where I was a bit like, it was a lot more evident. Not evident, it was just like a bit more jarring. Some of the comments felt kind of felt like they were a bit much, which I haven't really felt in the other book. They're a lot more light-hearted. Obviously they're out of touch, but it was just a bit too far out of touch. But I'm very excited that there are 2 more books to come in this series. There must be at least 1 more book because the amount of cryptic messaging there was around Christian, Daisy and Julian, there must at least be a 6th book to even out the storylines on that, because what the hell was going on with them? I don't know if there's been a confirmed release date for another book. Definitely not this year. I haven't heard anyone speaking about that this year. And then the book I'm reading now is The Silver Flame by Paige Nicole. She randomly popped up on my For You page and she was advertising her book, and I just thought it sounded really good, so I kind of jumped in to it with kind of no expectations or really knowing what it was really about, because I've been really craving a fantasy. I haven't read a fantasy book so far this year, and it follows a girl called Lyra who is selected for her region to participate in some trials to win the prince's hand in marriage. So it's kind of like The Selection, but selection crossed with kind of like trials. It's really good. So far I'm about 40% in. I read a load on the bus journey yesterday and I'm really enjoying it. It's just nice to be back in a fantasy world. That is a small little update on the books I've read and am reading. I will update this vlog again when we go back out in about an hour. We're watching the sunset and we've got smoothies. So I've got watermelon, I've got passion fruit. And we're just sitting and watching the sunset over one of the temples. It's really pretty. Good morning, it is Saturday. Today we've got an awfully long travel day. We're going Sukhothai to Bangkok, Bangkok to Kanchanaburi, which is about 10 hours total. We're at the bus terminal, bus station right now. We're here early because we like to be prepared, and we're just waiting for our bus, and then it's a 7-hour bus down to Bangkok. Good morning everyone, it is Sunday. We are at the Erawan waterfalls, which is pretty gorgeous. There are 7 levels here and each level has a waterfall. So we're just exploring. We've come from Kanchanaburi and we're just going to have a look around, and then later today we head back to Bangkok.